No. I think that is a safe bet, no matter which way it goes. Guys, this was just such a delight to have everybody back here together again, coming off of what was an amazing night. Hope everybody enjoyed the game as much as we did. Hope everybody enjoyed the morning as much as we did. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back and better than ever Monday. First Take starts now.
The First Take, presented by Aflac.
How about the Cowboys? Normally, I would just start the show off and leave it like that, but this is a special day for me, a special day. You see that dapper brother in there. Usually, it's just me looking like that. Look at this brother right here. Tim Tebow, my brother, he's in the house. I can't wait. First Take, let's roll it.
Good day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on this Feel Good Friday. So much happening. Tim Tebow, good morning. So excited to have you here.
Good morning, Molly. Good morning, Stephen A. Thanks for having me.
I feel special. I feel special.
I feel special.
As everybody knows, there's been changes that's taking place with First Take, and we got a whole bunch of people rotating in every week. And every Friday, my friend, my brother, the one and only Tim Tebow, will bless me with his presence. This man, he's a busy man. He's got a lot of stuff to do. But take the time. Hold on, Molly. Can I get some tissue, please? I'm getting emotional right now. I'm getting emotional right now. My man coming in here on Fridays just for me. I'm touched. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Just for you. Yeah.
Molly, it's also for you, too.
Yes,
okay?
thank you, Tim. Obviously.
I'm sorry.
It's for all of you guys.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Tim,
I was taking all the glory.
I'm just teasing. We appreciate you. We're so happy to have you, and it's going to be a lot of fun on a Football Friday, guys. Couple things. Let me just mention this before we get to your Cowboys. Yes. We are going to be checking in on the Southern Heritage Classic in Memphis. Eddie George is joining us. Deion Sanders will stop by. Ghost will grace our screens. Amari Hardwick today, and then obviously a full slate of games on Sunday. So let's do this. Yes. About last night.
Competition at its best. So NFL football challenges you a lot in different ways, and we worked hard on our team.
There was no doubt we were going to go win the game. With him, it's just who was going to make plays, and guys up front did a hell of a job protecting, and guys went and got open.
All I got to say is, guys, I felt like we were walking down memory lane with Brady and Gronk. The duo combined to go 8 of 9 for 90 yards, 2 TDs, but become the second duo in NFL history to hook up for 100 passing touchdowns. They will need to connect 14 more times to tie Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison for the most all time. Tim Tebow, talk to me. Was this more about Brady being Brady or more Cowboys heartbreak?
Absolutely. More about Brady being Brady and the Bucs being the Bucs, and having all 22 back, having a great coaching staff, knowing exactly what they needed to do to win the game and finding a way to get it done at the end. And listen, I know Stephen A, this has nothing to do with the producer, okay?
You're coming at me like that. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I'm here saying, you know what, we get in the Cowboys today, but I can't wait to talk to you about Florida down the line in a week to come, because I'm keeping my eyes on those Florida Gators and college football week to week. Trust me on that. But I got to tell you, I'm not trying to sit up there and hate on the Cowboys. I'm just going to allow everybody to gloss and glow over the Cowboys the way that they're doing. Let's look at the Cowboys for a second here. We didn't know. I said Dak Prescott did throw the ball 58 times. Now, he looked great. Ezekiel Elliott, of course, you got Zach Martin. Now you can't run the football as effectively as you're going to do. Fournette dropped the little gimme short pass, screen pass from Tom Brady. That was another turnover. Chris Godwin in the end zone that would have put them up and sealed the deal in the game. He fumbles in the end zone, get right before the end zone, gets the ball knocked out. I'm saying, when you look at it from that perspective, the Dallas Cowboys got pretty lucky. They should have lost by more.
The defense forced 4 turnovers.
Excuse me. I just told you 2 that wasn't really forced, but 3, there was another one that was.
Hey, my friend, you're looking at the mistakes on one side. Look at them on the other side. And by the way, you're saying Ronald Jones fumbled. I don't look at it that way. I think the defensive end went in there and punched it out like he was taught to do. Leonard Fournette, he did drop that. But you could also say, hey, CeeDee Lamb was on a deep dig, and it went through his hands, and that was a pick, right? So on both sides. Plus, you could look at a possible pass interference on the game-winning drive. So there's a lot of plays that are up in the air, and I think you could kind of go both sides. Plus, 2 missed field goals by Dallas. So there's a lot of plays if you're saying, oh, this. There's a lot of butts on both sides.
I don't want to. They're better because they can't be much worse. But we also got to take into consideration, Whitehead didn't play coming into the game. He was out. And then on top of that, kid, Bunton separated his elbow. So he was out. They've been decimated in their secondary in Tampa. Dallas was going up against that, too. We just going to sit here and ignore that?
Well, I don't think you need to ignore it. That's absolutely a good point. But also, you brought it up, but Zach Martin being out, one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, not being there. And so you can't get Zeke going at all. And that would give you even more balance. But I think where that changes is in the red zone. They were going up and down the field, but in the red zone, that's where Zeke has to come into play. That's where Zach Martin would come into play, is to have more balance in the red zone. So you're able to have those run-pass options. And also, then you're able to get Dak on the edge even more. That's where I think the Cowboys, to really get to where they want to go of being a contender and making the playoffs, they got to get Zeke involved, but they also have to be able to score in the red zone, and I think that goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Overall, the team looked a lot better. Dan Quinn
looked a
did a
lot
nice
better.
job with the
But hold
defense.
on.
And that's a great point about the Zach Martin, because I was going to get on you. The reason I thought we didn't see Zeke do anything was because you drafted him on your fantasy team.
Yes.
And you cursed it. Stephen A. is playing fantasy.
Stephen
in a
A.,
big
you don't have enough time for fantasy
league.
football. Are you kidding? You have 42 shows. How are you doing fantasy?
Tim, they got me to do it for the first time ever, okay? And I had the 5th pick, and the other 4 running backs I wanted were gone. Yeah. What was I supposed to do?
So you go to Zeke Elliott, and he has 11 carries. I blame you.
All right.
33 yards.
I'm still beating David Spade, though. I'm still beating him.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm still beating him.
Did you have a whole team in there with
drop.
you drafting this for
Listen,
you? You know
we get your
Listen,
Stephen A., we get your famous. You don't got a name drop, all right? It's the beginning of the show, man.
It's too early for that. All right. So, Tim, yesterday on the show, Michael Strahan said that he doesn't see the Bucs repeating, not because of Tom Brady, but it's just too hard to do. Do you see them running it back this year?
Gosh, I love the Bucs. I love Brady, but dang, it's hard to repeat. It doesn't matter what level you're on. It is hard. I mean, think about all the good teams they have to go against. The Rams, the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, it's not only about do you have to be one of the best teams, but then the odds are a good thing, you know?
Sometimes, but not all the time. And when I saw Tom Brady, let me tell y'all what I saw last night, okay?
Oh boy.
It was beautiful to see. Because see, I was falling asleep, Tim. I was falling asleep. I was in bed, you know what I'm saying? I was hugging my pillow, and I was.
Yeah, you posted a video with a Band-Aid on your nose. I'm like, what is happening right now?
That's the breathing stuff. That's the breathing stuff to help me breathing. That's what that is. But here's the deal, Tim Tebow, okay? So I'm trying to fall asleep. And swag.
I get it. So why would you even continue when you're falling asleep? Then we know your vision and everything's not right, right?
Let me explain
so
what
whatever you're going to say next, how are you going to even believe it? You're falling asleep. You already popped your melatonin, man. You're out.
I know. Ain't that something? Not the melatonin, though. It's ZMA. It's good. It's herbal medicine. It works, actually. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Swagoo FaceTimes me to laugh at me about the Cowboys winning because they were ahead. And it was 1 minute and 24 seconds left with Tom Brady needing a field goal. I mean, are you kidding me? This is the ridiculousness of Cowboy fans. And what I'm saying to you is about this.
Yeah.
Tim, you look at Tom Brady and what he brings to the table. Did you see Antonio Brown in that first half?
Antonio Brown looked like Antonio Brown again.
Godwin dropped the passes, all right, including a touchdown pass and a fumble. As far as I'm concerned, he didn't have that great of a night. But we know what that brother can do. Mike Evans is no joke.
Hard, because very few people have ever done it. Listen, I agree with all the reasons you just said. I agree. I think they're going to win their division. I think they'll probably get home field advantage. But I think in the playoffs, it is really hard to run the table. You're talking about one of the best players. He's not. He's the best player of all time. And he's only been able to do it one time, is go back to back. It is really, really hard. That's why it's easier to take the odds.
But it happened once with him.
It did. Mm-hmm.
And no one has won 7, which he has. And I'm saying to you, regardless of the numbers, if there is somebody that is well equipped to get it done as him, who's returning, he's playing for a team where he's returning all 22 starters. All 22 starters from last year. Same coach, same coaching staff, same 22 starters. So you're not only talking about ability, you're talking about continuity. If anybody can appreciate that, I would think it's Tim Tebow. I wouldn't expect Tim Tebow to disagree with that.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm simply stating it is hard to go back-to-back. And by the way, the Patriot team that did it was ridiculous. That was a stacked team on offense and defense and special teams. That was an incredible Patriots team, the team that went back-to-back. And I'm not saying this Bucs team can't do that. This Bucs team is incredible. Like all the reasons you said, they have as many weapons offensively as anybody does. They have an incredible front seven. They have two of the best linebackers that can go sideline to sideline. They get after the quarterback. All those reasons are great. I think they're one of the top teams. But when you get to the playoffs, it is a gauntlet. It is really hard to be able to run the table. And you're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody is going to be saying, okay, against Bruce Arians, against Tom Brady, against these Bucs, we're going to do everything. And we're going to throw the kitchen sink into there. That's why it's hard to repeat, because everybody the whole year is giving you your best. And eventually, one time when you slip up in the playoffs, it's done. That's why it's really hard.
Can I jump in here before we move on? Because it was a topic bar on Get Up. And I know we mentioned Zach Martin, but Stephen, I'll start with you. How concerned are you about Ezekiel Elliott, that his best days are behind him?
I'm not concerned. First of all, we didn't see enough from him last night. We didn't see a dude that couldn't run. Mm-hmm. We saw a team that didn't run. There's a difference. Now, if the man had 23, 25 carries, wasn't getting anywhere, looked slow and all of that stuff, that would be different. He was slimmer. He looked just as, if not faster than he has in the past. He scampered for 13 yards on one run on the outside. He's shown what he can do. We know what kind of capabilities he has. But the Dallas Cowboys clearly made a concerted effort not to run the football last night because Zach Martin was out and that front seven they were going against with Dak Prescott and Tampa's suspect secondary. Yep. They made a decision to throw the football 58 times.
Tim?
I'm not worried about Zeke.
If you think Zeke Elliott is going to still be a good player in the NFL, absolutely. He's going to bounce back and have a good season and a good career. If you think he's going to lead the NFL a couple more times in rushing, I don't think that's going to happen. It's not the same offensive line he had.
Exactly.
It's not the same system he had. So he's going to be successful, but he's not going to be what he was because the system and the team's not the same. And it's just going to be other guys are going to be able to lead the league in rushing. I don't think he's in the best system to be able to lead the league like he did twice.
Molly, I just want to say I'm very, very concerned. I expected Tim Tebow, my friend, to come on here and to be friendly, to come at me the way that he's come at me, even though it's a debate.
Are you kidding me?
I'm kind of shocked.
It's friendly love. It's friendly banter.
I'm kind of shocked.
I just think maybe you should have talked to Tim Tebow before you took Zeke with your first pick. Maybe he could have educated you. I don't know who you're consulting. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Plenty more to get to. Perhaps no team in the NFL this season has more hype than the Cleveland Browns, but Tim, in August, was the primary reason.
I would be remiss if I didn't, be honest. Did it catch me by surprise being released? Absolutely. Do I think this would have happened without me being away from the team for 5 days? Honestly, yes.
It was going to happen.
It was going to happen.
Inevitably.
Did it help ease the decision? Yes.
Okay, sometimes closed doors can be a blessing, it sounds like. Stephen A., your reaction.
There's Cam nothing but I hope that he ends up back in this league. I think Cam is a good person. He's a good brother. His heart is in the right place. And I think that needs to be said. Having said all of that, Tim, this is just my personal opinion. And I had no idea. They just alerted me to what Cam had to say. So this subject is new to me. And I'm operating off of it freshly. Not to knock the producers. They did a great job as always. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm just learning about this, and I will tell you this. Cam is one of those guys that you can just tell he's a unique presence. And he likes to do things his way. When you play the quarterback position in the National Football League, you don't get to do things your way. Unless you get to a point where you're so established that you can get away with things most people can't get away with. Tom Brady can do things his way in Tampa, but it's because he has the support of the organization from ownership on down to Coach Bruce Arians and the staff and beyond. You don't get to be the maverick. And Cam knows, and Bill Belichick can say what he wants, but there's no way on earth in my mind, Tim, that this decision to let him go wasn't made because of the whole refusal to get vaccinated. Because not once but twice Cam found himself in a position where he had to miss days. And if what all the things that are said about Bill Belichick is true, best ability is availability, and availability equals reliability. And if you're not available, then you're not reliable. And if you're not reliable, the last thing I can take a chance on is my quarterback not being reliable. Cam knows that. He sensed that. He gave every indication he believes that had something to do with it. So at the end of the day, no disrespect to him whatsoever, but maybe because of mitigating circumstances, he brought this on himself.
I don't know if Cam brought this on himself. When I look at it, I think they found someone that they fell in love with in Mac Jones. I think they found someone they believe could be a superstar in their system, someone that thinks similar to Josh McDaniels and can pick up this offense and can run it the way they want. And I think when you look at Cam Newton, you have someone with an incredible personality. It is, like you said, it is unique, right? And some people love it, and some people, think it's boisterous. I personally, when he played with me, I loved it. I mean, Cam would run around the field and, he would be saying, telling people, don't touch me, I'm schizophrenic. And everybody would be laughing and you'd be having fun. And he would just make me laugh. And I loved it. I loved being around him. I loved the joy that he brought. I loved how fun he was. And for some people, they look at Cam and they say, well, it's too much and it's too loud and all this. And I think when it comes to Cam and his future, I think Cam can still play in the NFL. I think Cam still has the talent. I think it's going to take someone with a strong personality to say, we know Cam is unique. We know that he's got a loud personality, but we also believe in the system and the way he can fit into the right system. I don't think there's a lot of people that will take a chance, but I do think there's a couple people, maybe because of injuries, maybe because of lack of performance out of their QB position, is going to give Cam a chance, but you also have to fit him to the system, to his skill set, which I think his skill set is still a really good skill set of athleticism, of better passing than a lot of people give him credit for, and he's still a freak athlete. And so when you give him the right system around him and the nourishment and the encouragement of who he is, and let him be Cam, which isn't necessarily like a lot of other guys, but let him be, because Cam can't be something different. He's got to be who he is. And when you bring that out, like it when he was at Auburn, like when he was in the Carolina Panthers certain times, that's when he has a chance to really flourish. And if you try to bottle that up, if you try to harness it, if you try to make him, quiet and not talk and not hype stuff up and not rap and all this, you're also taking away part of his juice, right? And I'm also someone that I played a little bit unique and played with certain passion and emotion. And so I get it. I didn't want to really be bottled up, and I don't think Cam should either. So if he finds a right fit, I think he still has a chance to succeed, because he is a unique, gifted athlete, and he's a unique, gifted person if supported and put in the right situation.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just think that in the NFL, that's asking for a lot, because it's not what they do.
It makes people uncomfortable. It makes some coaches and some owners uncomfortable. But when you take a chance and you support it, that's also when special happens.
Well, I guess what I'm asking,
to take a chance.
In fairness, let me ask you this question, and then I'll just let you end it the way you choose. I'll ask you this question. It would be one thing. Don't get me wrong. You might have somebody that has no problem with it, and they'll support him. They'll support him because it's natural. I'm talking about extending yourself to support a particular player because he might be a bit different, a bit eccentric, or his way of doing things might be different, et cetera, et cetera. Do you see an NFL team, the NFL culture that exists today? Do you see somebody doing that? Like extending themselves?
I don't think someone just opens the door and says, we're going to hand you the keys to the car. But I think if someone did, listen, there's a lot of teams that don't really have a chance this year. And so if one of those teams was smart, they would say, you know what, let's build around this guy. Let's be able to adjust and have a unique system and see if we put the right pieces around him, could he flourish in this year? Maybe it's after one team's 1-4 or 1-5, and they say, you know what, this isn't going the right way. We kind of suck right now. And so, we could bring in Cam, we got some other pieces, and we could make it work. That's where I see someone possibly taking a chance.
Two things. I just want to deduce what I took away from it because I also heard it in real time. When he said he was surprised by it, but he also said it made his decision easier. So what that tells me is that he was feeling a little torn because he wouldn't want to be a backup. And I just want to throw out another scenario. Look at a situation like Jameis Winston. He was the backup, Drew Brees leaves, and now he's getting an opportunity to start. So it could be a scenario like that, as unfortunately injuries will happen. Let's leave it there, guys, because we got some games to get to in what is arguably the most anticipated Week 1 matchup. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs begin their redemption tour when they host Baker Mayfield. Stephen A., he had a new Progressive commercial last night in the Cleveland Browns at Arrowhead. The two teams met in the divisional round of the playoffs last season when Kansas City beat the Browns 22-17. Now, Tim, there still seem to be many skeptics when it comes to the play of Baker Mayfield. I know he had a strong season last year. Is he being disrespected?
I think so. I think he's being disrespected because a lot of people look at the sophomore slump that he had.
Lift up your jaw.
A lot of people will take credit for, say, the credit deserves to the running game, Nick Chubb, tight ends, the defense. And when you really sit down and you watch the film, you watch someone at the end of the season that was playing at a very high level. Actually, the last 6 games, Baker Mayfield had 11 touchdowns and 1 pick. The only person that was better than that was Stephen A's guy, A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers, right? So when you're putting someone in the same category for the last 6 weeks, you got to give them a lot of respect. And I think Baker is due a lot of respect. But is he in the same category as Josh and Patrick right now? I don't think so. But is he a very good quarterback in the NFL that has a chance to take even the next step? I think so. And he's also 1 drive away from beating a Kansas City Chiefs. And he played a good game. He played well in that game as well. So it's not like he had poor performances in the playoffs. He played well down the stretch. And when I look at the Browns, I see a good team, but I also see a very good quarterback.
Okay, couple of them. Number one, I see Jacksonville on that schedule there, Philadelphia on that schedule there, the New York Jets on that schedule. I'm talking about the last few games. Now, don't get me wrong, Tennessee and Baltimore, then Pittsburgh were in there too, plus the playoff game. I get all of that, but I'm just saying there's some suspect competition, but that's neither here nor there. Here's my biggest thing about Baker Mayfield. First of all, the Progressive commercials. Yeah. I have no problem with the Progressive commercials. I did in the past because he had more Progressive commercials than wins. But last year he had 11 wins.
You saw the new one, though, with the tag sale?
I missed it, but it's all right. I'm happy for him, okay? Because you're winning games, so now it makes sense to have at least just more wins or as many wins as Progressive commercials. That's all I ask. Make sure the wins at least match or exceed the commercials. That's all I ask. Now, let me get to this game. This dude, Baker Mayfield, when are we going to just embrace the fact that what we're really saying is he ain't as bad as folks were trying to say he was after Freddie Kitchens was coaching him? Because he had 21 interceptions the year before last, and last year he only had 8. He completed 62% of his passes. He threw 26 touchdowns. I will remind everybody, we were talking about how Ben Roethlisberger needed to go home. Not me, but there were people talking about how Ben Roethlisberger needed to go home. He had 33 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And they wanted to sit up there and say that he's done, which makes no sense to me. But Baker Mayfield, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and folks act like they want to throw a parade for him. You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in your backfield. You got Jarvis Landry out there. You're getting Odell Beckham Jr. back. Kevin Stefanski has proven to be a damn good coach, and he safeguarded and brought along Baker Mayfield a lot. I don't think that Baker Mayfield is disrespected. I think people have been very fair in pointing out the things that were going wrong because you got to remember, Tim, he comes in there as a rookie. He plays well. Then he wants Freddie Kitchens as the coach. They gave him what he wanted, okay? And then obviously they had to make some changes because they knew they went in a different direction. He was trying to help make decisions, and people were trying to remind the Cleveland Browns, this is a second-year quarterback. Why are you empowering him? Make sure this brother knows how to play his position before he elevates to decision-making. Thank God for Andrew Berry, who's doing a great job, and, of course, Kevin Stefanski. But things were reeled back in. So he's got an upward trajectory. I like Baker Mayfield and what I've seen. He's got a lot of moxie, worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. He's showing some mettle. I like him. But in the same breath, I wouldn't say he's been disrespectful because I think people have been very fair in pointing out the things that they pointed out about him, Tim.
Well, I missed some of what you said, but I hear the end about fair, and I don't think the criticism on Baker Mayfield has always been fair. Listen, a lot of people that judge him for the commercials and say, why is he doing all these commercials? If they were offered to do those commercials, they would have been doing it, right? So just because he says yes to an offer he gets, why criticize him? Why knock someone? I don't get it. I don't necessarily even like that about, the media. Oh, he doesn't have as many wins. Well, so what? Progressive said, you know what? We're going to pay you to do a commercial. You know what? I'm going to say to Baker, hey, congrats. You got an awesome gig. Because guess what? For a lot of people that say, why is he taking the commercials? If Progressive would have asked you, you would have said yes.
That is true.
Period. That is the truth. We know
said
that.
Yes to
and so you know what I'm going to say?
I would have said
Baker,
yes to Progressive.
Congrats on getting something awesome for yourself. You know what? I'm not going to evaluate you on Progressive. I'm going to evaluate you on what you did on the field. And one doesn't have to correlate to the other. I'm going to say congratulations on Progressive. And you know what? You've been improving. That's how I look at it. I'm not going to judge him for getting cool opportunities.
Tim, can I say this? As much as I love Progressive, if you're struggling, Geico might have been a better choice at that particular time. Can I at least say that?
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Can you not insult potential sponsors, please?
No. I love Progressive. I love Progressive.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just saying
I can't take him anywhere.
I'm saying when you lose it, I'm just saying, if you look, he's winning now. So it works. Progressive, as you're progressing. You see the beautiful thing?
Tim, I appreciate your sentiment. I need to just ignore my friend over here right now. Okay. Baker won 4 of his last 5 road starts. Tim, I'm really excited about this because we have one of the best rookie classes, and obviously we have our quarterback and you here to help us break it down. So let's do that now and let's rip through them. So the 2021 NFL Draft saw 3 quarterbacks selected with the first 3 picks for the 3rd time in the Common Draft era, and it was the 2nd time 5 quarterbacks were taken with the first 15 picks. Tim, you played with Trevor Lawrence in the preseason. Do you think he has what it takes to live up to that number 1 pick hype?
Sorry, Miley, I couldn't hear most of that.
Tim, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I can repeat the question. So basically, I was just saying, obviously, you were playing with Trevor Lawrence in the preseason. Do you think he has what it takes to live up to that number 1 pick hype?
Well, I was hoping to get an actual pass from him, get a completion and make a little move or something. That didn't happen, but we'll put that to the side.
We were too.
Yes, I think Trevor absolutely will live up to the hype. I think he's got an unbelievable talent. I think he's got a great mindset. I think he's a great young man. Everything about him, honestly, it was a joy playing with him. It's a pleasure being around him. He is a really good kid that I think is going to handle the pressure. I think he's going to handle Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville already is in love with him. He's got a great wife. He's got a great situation. He's fitting into the city. I think Urban's going to try to do everything to support him. I think he's going to have a great career.
Let me tell you something right now. Trevor Lawrence is special. I don't even need to. I mean, listen. I didn't watch preseason. I'm about the regular season. I'm about the games that count. The preseason is for the coaches and everybody else to analyze and the scouts and everybody else. I want to see the games that count. Let me tell you something right now. Trevor Lawrence, I watched him enough at Clemson, and I see him 6'6" with an arm, with intelligence, can read through progressions, can make the right decisions, can make every NFL throw you'd ask him to, and deceptively has some wheels on him as well. He can run. I like him a lot. I'm wondering about what's around him.
Of course.
When Jacksonville struggles this year, I'm certainly not going to look at him and wonder about him. I believe in him.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same opportunity as some of these other teams.
When you talk about his arm, it really is off the charts. It's one of the top 5 to 7 arms in the NFL about being able to make passes other people just never had the ability to throw, right? But he doesn't always have to throw that hard. That's one thing I love about him is he can take it off for the short, for the intermediate, but then all of a sudden he throws a deep crosser and you look at him and you're like, what? Sometimes I would be like, over there on the scout team and I'll be looking over like, dang, that's ridiculous, And I think he's got a lot of special in him that when the right situation and the right team's around him, you're going to see him do some special things.
Let's move on to Zach Wilson, drafted number 2 overall. What do you think of the Jets quarterback, Tim?
I think he's got a lot of talent. I think a lot of people are hyping up. You hear Tony Romo and all these people, comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, and I don't like that because, first of all, I don't know many people that can compare to Aaron Rodgers. I think Zach's ceiling is extremely high, but I think trying to compare him to A-Rod it's not many people in this game have ever been A-Rod. I think he's probably the most talented quarterback that's ever played that I've ever seen with my eyes. So I think Zach is an incredible talent. I want to see more weapons around him. I want to see how the offensive line does this year. I want to see how he handles the city of New York. That is a really tough place to play, especially when it's not going well. So I think this, he's got a really high ceiling, but there's also a lot of things that have to go right for him.
Well, I think it's a plus that Adam Gase is not there anymore. So they started a new Robert Salah. A lot of people believe in him. He's got the credentials as the former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, and he's brought his guys over there. So that's a plus. I also think it's a plus. Look at some of the guys that they picked up, Tim. You got Corey Davis. He came over from Tennessee. You got Jamison Crowder. He came over. He's got COVID. He's in that COVID protocol, but he'll be all right. We've got Keelan Cole. He came over from Jacksonville. Denzel Mims as well.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking at that with Tevin Coleman coming out of the backfield. Their offense is expected to do some things. And all I would say is this. I didn't watch Zach Wilson, okay? I didn't see him in college. I saw some footage, some tape on him, but I didn't see him. What I will say is this. He's got pieces around him, even though he's playing in a tough division, to be respectable at the very least. We're gonna learn about him quicker than we'll learn about Trevor Lawrence because he's got enough weapons to show us something.
But the biggest question mark with Zach is not if he has the talent. I think we already know that. It's in New York, if you're able to handle the big city, if you're able to handle the pressure, if you're able to handle page six, if you're able to handle all the outside noise. And I know that's not a popular thing to talk about, but that's the reality. I think there's been more quarterbacks that haven't made it because of outside influences and so many things that can get in your head than it actually on the field. And so I think that's one of the hardest things, and I'm rooting for the kid because I think he's a special young man. But I also want to see the right people around him that help him block out all of that noise.
Got it.
All right. Tim, we're going to have to revisit this because I got Mac Jones, others I want to ask you about. But the good part is we have you every single Friday. So we have time to do that.
I'm very happy he's here, but I would say that my friend was kind of hard on me today. I just want that the record.
Tim, he's so sensitive.
I think he came at me a little hard today. That's what I'm saying.
That's just brotherly love from my friend.
All right. Okay.
Tim, we'll talk to you next week. Always a pleasure. Have fun this weekend.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
We'll talk. All right, still to come on this jam-packed edition of First Take, we've got both Deion Sanders and Eddie George live on this show in just a bit. The head coaches go toe-to-toe tomorrow.
Welcome back to First Take. The 32nd annual Southern Heritage Classic is scheduled to take place in Memphis, Tennessee. There's a game going on tomorrow night, and one of the coaches for that team, the new head coach for Tennessee State University, the one and only Eddie George, former NFL star. What's going on, Big Tom? How are you, man?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, man. Blessed and highly favored, man. I wish I could see you, but,
That's all right. That's all right. I see you. You're looking dapper and sharp as always. And, oh, by the way, some brother I know is about to turn, 48 years old. Is that true in a couple of weeks or so? About to turn 48 years old. You're approaching 50, but you're looking in your 30s.
Hey, I say I'm 38. knock 10 off of that, but now God is good. I've been blessed, man, to be in the situation, to be alive today, to be able to do this, be a head coach for this wonderful university. It's been an awesome time for me.
Now, you've never been a head coach before. Talk to me about this job at Tennessee State and remind everybody why you elected to take this job.
Well, in short, Stephen A., it's a calling. When I was first approached about the opportunity, I wasn't moved by it at first, but after doing my due diligence and a ton of soul searching, I said, hey, why not? When is the perfect time? When do you have an opportunity to going from the back to the front of not having an opportunity to be a head coach to being a head coach? Sometimes it takes someone to see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And I looked at all of that, talked to my family about it, and I said, hey, why not? Why not me? Why not right now? Why not try to make a difference on and off the football field for our student athletes?
How much was it being an HBCU? How much of a role did that play in you electing to take this job? The fact that it's an HBCU?
It really didn't weigh a whole lot that it was at HBCU. It was the fact that I'm familiar with the brand of Tennessee State. When we first got here from Houston in 1997, the Houston Oilers, we practiced at Tennessee State. We were on their facilities. I have friends that have gone to Tennessee State, so I'm very familiar with the brand, familiar with the struggles of the university over the years. And the fact that I'm from Nashville, I live in Nashville now, I've been there for 24 years. I felt that the resources I could help bring, the light that I can help bring to this program, to kind of bridge the gap in some areas where we can help the resources, operations, and bring a winning product on the football field in other sports, lend an opportunity. So it really wasn't like, hey, I'm just going to go and find an HBCU to be a part of. It just so happened that I was here living in Nashville, Tennessee, and Tennessee State offered me the opportunity.
What role did primetime Deion Sanders, your opponent tomorrow night, somebody that you're very, very familiar with, what role, if any, did he play in helping you decide to take this job?
What was funny is when Coach Prime took the job, I think back in October, I was like, man, that is awesome. He's going to change a lot of lives for a lot of young men. I think it's phenomenal. He's been coaching in high school and the high school ranks for some time, so I kept up with him that way. So when I got approached with the opportunity a few months later, I said, let me give Deion a call to see, okay, number one, can I be successful at this given I don't have any head coaching experience? And two, what does it entail? What are the challenges? What does a winning program look like from budget to operations to staff to all of that? And we had a really good conversation, and he gave me the vote of confidence. Hey, you can do it. The head coach is nothing more than a CEO, and you delegate your you delegate all of your things to your other coaches and other duties to the assistant coaches and so forth. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me look deeper into that and see what I can come up with at that particular time. And this opportunity is God-given. Only God can put me in this opportunity at this point in time, and Deion gave me a vote of confidence with that.
Real quickly, what's harder to do? Play against primetime or coach against him? Coach Prime.
Play.
That's a simple answer,
I would say play. Hey, that was simple. Although, if I saw him on a tall sweep, I think, we know how that would end. But if I try to go the distance, I think we know how that would end. So, but thank God that we don't have to put the pads on.
I hear you on that. I can't lie. Nashville is a fabulous, fabulous city. I love it whenever I get the opportunity to visit there. I got to ask you this question, though. Let me transition to the NFL because that's your stomping ground. You played for the Tennessee Titans in your career. Did a damn great job doing so, I might add. There's another brother there now. His name is Derrick Henry. They got Julio Jones there now. Sir. You still got A.J. Brown and the crew. What are your expectations for the Tennessee Titans this year?
Well, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to them right now because I'm trying to get my Tigers ready to play this season. But what I do know is that their offense is star-studded. They have an explosive offense with Ryan Tannehill also at the quarterback position. But they invested a lot into their defense. It's been the defensive side of the football for Mike Vrabel. Can they apply pressure to the quarterback? Plain and simple. Can they have some dogs off the edge? Can they apply it with 4-down rush without blitzing? Is the back end and the secondary, are they good enough to promote a championship season? That's the difference for me with the Tennessee Titans. If they can answer those questions on the defensive side of the football with that explosive offense, they should be playing in the Super Bowl.
I got you. And last question is, I'm going to transition to college football. I know you care about Tennessee State. That's your job, and your heart is there. But your heart also lies with the Ohio State Buckeyes, okay, who beat Minnesota to open this season. Got a big game coming up against Oregon. What are your expectations for Ohio State this year, particularly with C.J. Stroud at the quarterback position?
Yeah, I checked them out last week, and I was very impressed. I mean, listen, at Ohio State, they just reload. They lose players, and they just lock and load. I mean, they got guys in the cupboard that are 5-star players, 4-star players, athletes just waiting to come out on the field. And they got a slew of running backs, a bevy of running backs, 3 to pick and choose from. They got one of the best wide receiving corps in the country. Quarterback seems like he's settled in beautifully so far. I like them to win the Big Ten this year. Whether they're in the conversation of the top 4, we have to see how their defense pans out. Alabama looks strong. Georgia looks strong so far coming out the gate. Clemson, they fell back, but I think they'll come back into the fold a little bit, and look out for Texas too. So it's a long season, a lot of football to be played, Stephen A. I would like to see their defense, especially their run defense, be a lot better. But again, I really hadn't been paying a whole lot of attention.
Right. That's right.
I got to get ready to play Prime over my shoulder on Saturday.
And Prime is coming for you. Prime in Jackson State is coming for you tomorrow night.
No question.
I have no doubt you'll have your team ready. The head coach for Tennessee State, the one and only Eddie George. Appreciate you, man. Proud of you. Happy for you. All the best to you. And I'll see you soon. All right, brother. All right, Eddie George right here on First Take. Don't miss that game. Don't miss that game, y'all. 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Eastern Time on ESPN3. Jackson State versus Tennessee State. That's Coach Eddie George, Tennessee State. Joining Stephen A. More First Take in a minute. Don't touch that dial. Prime time coming up.
First Take has had all year, and I love it. We already had Tim Tebow, Eddie George. We still have primetime Deion Sanders and Amari Hardwick in just a bit. But Stephen A., what else do you have for the people?
Well, just to remind them that obviously changes have taken place in the show, and as a result, everybody needs to recognize the fact that there's going to be different guys sitting across from me every day. Today it was Tim Tebow. Ryan Clark's about to come on. Swag Gould, Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, Bart Scott. They were earlier this week. Guys like Dan Orlovsky, Jeff Saturday, Dominique Foxworth, Damian Woody was also in yesterday. Kimberly Martin, Mina Kimes. The list goes on and on. But also in the world of sports and entertainment, I want that chair to be open because you got a whole bunch of people that like to get at me. They want to call themselves ready to debate and what have you, or ready to have discussions. This chair is open for the sports world and the world of entertainment, especially pop culture as well. Feel free. You want some, come get some. It's not a problem. Nobody's hiding this way. So I just want everybody to know that. And as this show continues to move forward, to recognize the fact that you and I will be a constant, but you'll see moving parts throughout with all the great contributors that we've had for the show throughout the years. They'll still be a part of this, along with folks in the world of sports and entertainment. They'll be on the show too. So just get ready. Keep it coming. Let's keep doing what we're doing.
And speaking of getting at you, Stephen A., here is our next challenger.
Uh-oh. Can I ask a question for a second here? What color blue is that you're wearing?
LSU, you see it?
Did you just bring up LSU?
Watch your mouth. You understand?
You better watch your mouth.
Look at me. Look at me. It's my show. Oh, look at me. Look at me.
You were wrong and I was right. But you were wrong.
What, Stephen A.? I let you finish.
It's apropos because when you try to come at me, things happen bad.
That was coming.
Bad things happen.
Let's get it. Exactly. RC, it's been too long. How we doing?
May I interject for
I'm
1
doing
second?
good, Molly.
Yeah.
May I interject for 1 second?
Yeah, the battle's between you all.
What Ryan Clark can never say about me is that I'm a dummy. I'm an idiot. He'd never say that about me, okay?
Yeah.
And with that being said, that was a false promo because I would never think to fight that dude. I would never think to fight Ryan Clark right there. I would never even think about it. That man lived in the gym.
I don't think you can catch him, first of all.
Lived in the gym. I know better. You understand what I'm saying? Trust me on that. But
no, we good, man. You my big bro. We good.
That's my brother right there.
All right, we're going to have some fun. Ryan's going to be with us on Friday, so always looking forward to that. All right, Ryan, I thought this was interesting. So I was watching you guys on Get Up this morning, and you said that you would rather have, correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I heard, you would rather have Dak Prescott as your quarterback than you would Tom Brady.
Absolutely. I absolutely said it. And I know people are going to be like, well, Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls and he's been to double-digit Super Bowls. And I get all that. But
Ryan, you only talk about this year, right?
Here and now.
You only talk about this year,
I'm talking about this year going forward.
Oh. Okay.
Right? And the reason I say that, but this year counts. And I heard when you were talking and you were going on about the Dallas Cowboys and about the fact that they still lost, and you were trying to kind of downplay what Dak did and say, well, he has Gallup and he has Amari Cooper and he has CeeDee Lamb and he has all these people. Let's think about who Tom Brady has. Tom Brady probably has three receivers right now that at their peaks of their careers were better than any Dallas Cowboys receiver has ever been. Chris Godwin is a Pro Bowler. Obviously, Mike Evans is a Pro Bowler. Antonio Brown is one of the best to have ever done it and to have ever lived, and is actually playing at a high level right now. And so you think about putting Dak Prescott on that team, you get the same exact result. But the confidence that I saw from Dak Prescott, and also the way that he overcame the adversity, right? You coming off of a bad ankle injury, you get into training camp, and you have a bad shoulder, so now you're not getting reps. And all offseason, we talked about the fact of whether or not Dak Prescott was going to be able to carry this team. And he dropped back for plus 60 times. And he's a dude that runs the ball in RPOs after coming off of that injury. The type of intestinal fortitude, mental toughness, and play that we saw from Dak Prescott last night is going to put him in the top tier of quarterbacks by the end of the 2021 season.
First of all, of course you would take Dak for the future because Tom Brady's 44 years old.
You take him this year.
But this
you
year,
take him this year, Stephen A.
That's why I asked you. As I started off when you started, I said, "Are you talking about just this season?" You said this season moving forward, and I'm saying moving forward. The moving forward part, of course, you would take Dak Prescott. Tom Brady's 44 years old, but this season, this season, let's just.
I know what you're about to do. I know what you're about to do.
What am I
you
doing?
about to twist. You about to try to twist my words,
right?
Lord. Because you've been getting killed all week. Michael Irvin killed you on Monday, right? The Swagoo came and killed you on Tuesday. So you've been getting killed all week. We did.
Listen, first of all, Michael Irvin is still recovering. He might actually get a haircut next time around because he was struggling so much. He was starting to look like Don King because I put it on him. That was Monday. Swagoo, he knew what time it was and getting all upset and emotional. Tuesday. Wednesday, Keyshawn tried something. I had to get on him. Bart Scott tried to get philosophical. I had to get on him. Damian Woody came in here with a dingy shirt under his regular suit shirt and his nice suit. Okay, he got his feelings hurt. Kimberly Martin tried to be all smooth and get help from Molly. That didn't work. And then I even got Molly upset because she brought up UConn. and she's going to watch them against Purdue.
Okay.
She's a real fan. She ain't bandwagon like you.
Thank you, RC.
Whatever. Okay.
Thank you.
Now let me get to you, okay? Let me be very, very clear.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I do, which is spit facts. Here's the reality. Dak Prescott can ball. We get all of that. He's got some nice weapons. We get all of that. But it's laughable to me when we look at him throwing the ball 58 times. There were some throws he missed. There were some throws C.D. Lamb dropped. I get all of that too. And I understand all of that. And we all understand. Nobody's questioning Dallas's offense this year. We know they're going to be elite. That's why I picked them to win the NFC East, because I think that's going to be more potent than Washington's defense in the end when it comes down to a division crown. That's my take on the NFC East with the Dallas Cowboys. But the problem with them is the position their defense is going to put them in. And I think that when you look at Tampa Bay yesterday, Godwin with the fumble in the end zone, Godwin dropping a bomb right in the palm of his hands.
Yeah.
That's 2 touchdowns right there. That's 2 touchdowns right there which would have gave them over 40. So I look at it and I say, excuse me, Tom Brady, there's no slippage. Somehow, some way, he continues to ascend, and I think he's on his way to capturing an 8th Super Bowl crown. 8.
But Stephen A, here's what you're doing though. You're changing the entire topic. It's like you want to win so bad, you just switch the topic to something you can win on. This is about whether or not Dak Prescott is a better football player right now at the quarterback position than Tom Brady.
Well,
you see what happened in the conversation? What you had to do was you had to start talking about defense. Yeah, their defense stinks. And yes, Chris Godwin fumbled the ball in the end zone. All of these things are true. But Dak Prescott, if you take Dak Prescott and you make him the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, that team still wins a Super Bowl.
I'm just telling you this.
If Tom Brady plays for the Dallas Cowboys, they're a worse team.
You haven't shown me any evidence that Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Tom Brady right now. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I just need to repeat what Ryan said because we do have to go to break because even though this is Stephen A's world, it's about to be prime time. So this is
first day.
Thank you.
Stephen A's world is on ESPN Plus.
Well, sometimes I feel like I'm living in Stephen A's world. I wasn't actually referring to your show. But RC said, I want everyone to hear that if Dak Prescott was the quarterback on the Bucs, they'd still win a Super Bowl. Ryan will be back with us. All right, we've been teasing it all show. You just heard me. Deion Sanders himself joining us next here on First Take. Always good to talk to Prime. You going to ask him about the Cowboys, Stephen A?
What about them?
Oh, my goodness. How good they looked. And then another larger-than-life personality. It's Omar.
Welcome back to First Take right here on ESPN. It is my honor and privilege to have our next guest right here on the show. You used to see him on the NFL Network. You can catch him now because he still does work for Barstool. The bottom line is he's the head coach at Jackson State, my brother. I always called him Prime Time, but now it's Coach Prime. What's up, Big Time? How are you, sir? Prime Time Coach.
I'm so mad. I'm mad because I know I would have got one of those days. I seen you chopping up with the playmaker and all the fellas, man. I wanted a turn. Can I get a turn sooner or later, man?
You can hold on. Listen, come on, bro. Me Casa Suka. You know how it goes. I mean, you know what time it is. Anytime you want to come into the house, you know you invited, man. How's life at Jackson State? Bring that to me right now.
Oh my goodness. Life is good. The fan base is phenomenal. The student body, the alumni, the kids are really, they're committed. I'm not going to say they're sold out, but they are committed. I mean, when I tell you committed, we just had a wonderful practice here. We can't wait to compete in the Heritage Classic tomorrow. It's going to be phenomenal against Coach Eddie George, a dear friend of mine.
I know he's a dear friend of yours, and I'll get into that in just a second. I also heard you're working with Aflac right now, so congratulations on that. Tell us about your shared passion for raising the profile of HBCUs and supporting communities of color that brought you two together. Talk to us about that for a second.
Aflac been doing that for 20 years, man. I mean, when you talk about 20 years of financially helping people of color in communities that we share, it's a match made in heaven. And you talking about somebody that's willing to stand in the gap to cover unexpected medical bills that insurance companies don't cover. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to stand in the gap and balance the playing field, level everything, and warrant that attention. Like the attention you're giving us right now is so good for not just Jackson State, but for all HBCUs.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up, and I really appreciate you mentioning that because that's something that's near and dear to your heart. Obviously, you've always wanted to coach, and you've been coaching kids on the prep level, on a high school level for quite some time, and I recognize that. When you took this job, everybody said, whoa, Prime Time going to Jackson State. Should have been a head coach at Florida State as far as I'm concerned. That's your alma mater. But you were very, very ecstatic that you got the job at Jackson State. And just being a whole part of that HBCU family. Why was that so important to you?
The plight of our country and where we're headed and where we are right now and where we're going. Just having an opportunity to be a person of influence, a person of prominence, a person that can challenge the status quo, and even your network, to challenge them to do right when wrong is acceptable. I'm thankful, man. This is a wonderful opportunity that God has afforded me, and I'm taking fully advantage of it because our kids deserve it.
You know, thinking about you and a lot of the issues that you brought up, one of the issues you brought up just the other day is that you had a kid stand up and show his name on the back of the jersey, and you pointed out how the SWAC needed to do that more with these players. You've been willing to attack a lot of issues. You brought that up. You got upset at the media because some people didn't want to call you Coach Prime. I'm your brother. And you Coach Prime now. You Coach Prime. I'm still going to always see you at Prime Time. So much so I'm almost allergic to having you on in the daytime because Prime Time don't belong on in the daytime. That's how big time he is. But nevertheless, you're Coach Prime. Explain to our audience why it was so important to you that distinction was highlighted. Coach Prime instead of Prime Time. Because you made a big deal out of it. I totally agree with you. But I want you to tell the audience why.
Well, it was a big deal out of coach. Forget the prime. It's just a big deal out of coach. I'm from the old school, man. We grew up respectful and honorable. I mean, every parent or person older was a Mr. or Mrs. or ma'am or no ma'am or yes sir. That's just the way I grew up. And I can't think of a person who's ever coached me that I've been entitled by his name, or a person of authority that I didn't give them the proper authority or label that they deserve. My doctors are Dr. such and such. You know, the nurses are nurse such and such. Our teachers are Mrs. and Mr. So to just call someone by their name to try to belittle what I've accomplished and what I've worked for, that's just not right, and I wasn't going to stand for it. I've never stood for foolishness, so why would I stand for it now? I'm not going to do that. And they made a big deal out of it, but it was real. It was authentic, and I stand by it.
And regarding the names on the jerseys, you highlighted that. Why?
Man, you know when I got to Florida State, how much it meant to see that jersey hanging in my locker with my family name on it. I mean, because when I left, I told my mama, you're never going to have to work again. I'm going to make enough money. You're going to have to retire one day. And that family name meant something to me. And to see these guys out there working their butts off, committed and submitted to your university, to the alumni, to the fan base, to the student body, doing their homework. Sometimes they having jobs that Power 5 kids don't have to have. And you can't even put their name on the back of the jersey so the mama or the father or grandma and them could distinguish, that's my baby. She got to say my number 19 is my baby. No, put that name on the back of their jersey. That name means something. So if when we bypass minimal stuff like that, we're going to bypass other things like that. These kids deserve it. I just want to fight for every darn thing they deserve. If they get it in Power 5, we should get it too.
Jackson State is going up against Tennessee State tomorrow night, 7 p.m., ESPN 3 in Memphis, Tennessee, 32nd Annual Southern Heritage Classic. Primetime, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders is going up against Eddie George, his buddy. What does it mean to you to see Eddie George coaching in HBCU?
Oh, man, that's my friend. That's one of my confidants. I love it. And before he got the job, he called me and asked me a few questions. And I assured him that he was more than ready and more than prepared. He's going to change more than the outcome of a football game. He's going to challenge those young men, to be assets to their community. And for us to, and we're not playing the game, but for us to coach against one another stay on a stage like this challenged other guys that I played with, that I know they have a desire and a want to coach and take men to yet another level. This is just the beginning. Coach George and I and so many others that are in the HBCU level that are doing a phenomenal job should be recognized as well. We're just getting the bulk of the attention, but you have some guys that are doing a phenomenal job out there that played in the NFL as well.
Coach, let me transition to the NFL. How often have you had an opportunity? Did you have a chance to watch that game last night? Cowboys versus the reigning defending Super Bowl champions?
I did.
And what thoughts did you walk away with, sir, in the aftermath of that game?
I fell asleep at the end of the game, but I heard at breakfast this morning that they gave Tom Brady the ball with a minute or something left. Like, why would you do that? Who does that? Where you do that at? But I'm happy that the Cowboys fought and they put up they should have won. Basically, they should have won. And they just had some key errors, key mistakes, and pivotal, vital moments of what I'm told at the conclusion of the matter. But it was a good football game. I'm happy. That's the way we set the stage in the NFL, and that's what we expect from here on. I'm happy that football is back.
Massive crowd there, obviously. The players were excited. All of us were excited watching on television. How important is it to see, or was it to see that kind of climate, that kind of environment last night for NFL football, considering as a nation what we've been through the last 18 months?
Wonderful, ecstatic, unity is what I saw. I didn't see any racial climates, any ignorance or adolescence. I seen just unity. I saw the same thing at the Southern Blossom Classic last week in Miami. That's what I saw. It's something that about sports just brings us together. We don't think Tom Brady is white. We don't think he's black. He's Tom Brady. We don't think Dak is white, Dak is black, Dak is this. That's Dak Prescott, man. That's the Dallas Cowboys. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the Tennessee State. That's the Jackson State. That's what we see, and that's what sports does for us. So that's why I love this darn game, and I love what sports does for our country, man. I really do.
Before I let you get on out of here, Eddie George is your man. He's your brother, but he's coming for you tomorrow night. What's Jackson State going to do about that, bro? What's Jackson State going to do about that?
He coming. He coming, but I'm here. He's coming, but I'm here. And I want you to know something, and this is what I'm going to challenge. He's coming when I'm here. My people know what that means. And let me tell you this. And when it goes down, I just need y'all, because we plan on your network.
Right.
Just put us on the ticker.
Okay.
How much does it cost to put us on the ticker? Can we get on the ticker? I just want to know the scores, baby. Give me the scores of HBCU.
I'm going to make sure you're on the ticker.
Put us on ESPN. Put us on the ticker.
I'm going to make sure you're on the ticker. I'm going to make sure you're on the ticker, Prime.
That's all I need.
Coach Prime, I'm going to make sure you're on the ticker. All right.
Make sure I'm on it. Steve and they say we're going to be on the ticker.
That's right. Count on it. You can catch Coach
Prime.
Love you, man. You can catch Coach Prime on Barstool Sports platforms. Coach, love you, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. Wishing you nothing but the best. You know that.
I appreciate you, boss.
All right. More First Take. Back in a minute. Let me say something to y'all right now, okay?
I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
How could you do that to with the Bengals? Come on!
What am I doing here? Is this a show?
Patrick Mahomes is the greatest thing since we put jelly and peanut butter on bread.
There's not another team in the NFC that you can definitively say is better than those Cowboys.
Don't buy that fool's dog.
Biggest diva of all time. It's this man.
TV? It's this dude with the white suit on.
I'm kind of low maintenance. I'm not. I'm
Goodness.
not.
I don't know if I want to debate you. I want to give you my tithes and offerings, man. It's looking like Deacon Do Wrong over there.
There's nothing that says that the Buccaneers are.
I love when I get close to school. Yes.
Aaron Rodgers has just been in back-to-back conference title games.
I was at those games.
Why? Because there's a bad man.
Michael, you didn't think you were going to be on the show, though, and we're not going to talk about Big Blue.
They really need it bad enough. I still got my cleats.
I got bad love for you, cuz.
Big game against
You said it. I will be at the game at 3:30 on Saturday.
Why?
Because I'm loyal and I'm a fan. I'm not a front-runner bandwagon. I'm glad y'all just falling out laughing at my expense. That's funny.
And so you looked at it and said,
Who's going to win the game? I hate you all. Goodbye. Still salty, but it was a good week. All right, and what about this weekend and Monday? The U.S. Open's women's final, that's tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. Our Saturday night football game presented by Capital One on ABC as Washington at the Big House in Ann Arbor squaring off against Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. The U.S. Open men's final Sunday on ESPN. And our Monday night football week one matchup has the Ravens in Vegas taking on the Raiders. That's on ESPN and ABC. Peyton and Eli Manning are on ESPN2, while ESPN Plus has other options. Everything also available on the app. Now, I know we all live in Stephen A's world, at least most of us around here, but right now it is time for Molly's Deal, brought to you by DraftKings. And in case you didn't know, I'm the nice one on the show. So I want to see all you at home win and get paid, and that is the objective in Molly's Deal. Let's work. Ryan Clark, Stephen A., are we ready? Perfect.
Sure.
S.A., you're up first. Will Russell Wilson throw for 2 or more touchdowns?
Yes. Absolutely. He's Russell Wilson. I have no doubt that he'll pull that off, especially with DK Metcalf and, and the crew. I'm not worried about them at all. I think that he'll do that.
All right, easy money. Let Russ cook. All right, RC, will Justin Jefferson have 100 or more receiving yards?
Absolutely. I mean, is this even a question? This is a dude that had over 1,400 yards last year. Also, he's an LSU Tiger, and you know how we do. He's a great route runner. Kirk Cousins understands that he's the guy that can play.
Did he just say we know?
Yeah.
Did he just say he's an
You know
LSU
how
Tiger?
we
And
do.
you know how we do? Have you watched LSU?
You know Adam Thielen's there too, so a little dicey maybe.
Listen, Adam Thielen was there last year too, Molly. The number one receiver from the Minnesota Vikings is Justin Jefferson.
I agree with that.
And we will see it again this weekend against the Bengals.
Okay, a rookie looking like a vet. All right, Stephen A., which team will have, well, now he's not a rookie anymore. Which team will have more pass attempts, Miami Dolphins or New England Patriots?
I think the New England Patriots. I think if you're the Miami Dolphins, I'm not sure how sold you are on Tua Tagovailoa, who you're thinking about moving. I definitely think that Mac Jones is going to be throwing the football more, particularly with those weapons that Bill Belichick brought him in this offseason.
Yep, they got the 2 tight end sets happening again, like the good old days, Henry and Smith. And teams threw the fewest passes against New England last season. They have the number 1 defense. Stephen, I'm with you on that one. RC, which pair of teammates will have more receiving yards? Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. trying to have a redemption year, or would you go Tyreek and Travis Kelce, friend of the show?
I'm definitely going Tyreek and Travis Kelce. And the reason you have to do that is because if the Cleveland Browns want to win, they're going to have to run the football. And they're going to have to move the ball down the field that way and use Jarvis and Odell when it's time, not force the football to them. And, the Kansas City Chiefs, they went out and protected Patrick Mahomes so he could have time to let the Cheetah and Travis Kelce do work. And you better believe they'll do work this weekend.
Yeah, Browns 18th ranked defense. I was surprised it was actually that low. Stephen A., will Matthew Stafford throw 2 or more TDs?
He's throwing 2 TDs. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Deshaun Jackson, as far as I'm concerned, when healthy, still one of the elite deep threats in football. That brother can fly. And with Matthew Stafford throwing the football, yes, 2 TDs for Stafford.
Absolutely. I believe in West Coast Stafford, and especially injuries to that backfield as well. All right, good luck this weekend. Just looking out for you all. Let me know if you got paid. Hit me up. # Molly's Deal. Shout out to DraftKings. When we come back here on First Take, another larger-than-life personality. Maybe it is my pleasure to welcome in our friend to the show, actor, artist, former Georgia Bulldog, Omari Hardwick. Omari, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to be seen, especially by you and Molly. This is family for me. Nice to be back home for me.
What's up, big
So
time?
great.
Before we get into some
up, brother?
sports talk, because we only got it, I miss you, bro. It's good to see you, man. I want to know what the hell you've been doing. Every time I turn on a new movie or TV show, I'm seeing something great from you. What's going on with you these days?
Thank you, brother. Well, we came out of COVID and we went right into this piece called Pieces of Her with Toni Collette, Gil Birmingham, respectively. And that'll come out, I guess, sometime next year. It's on Netflix. And then I went right into a movie with the Halle Berry, which was a beautiful, beautiful movie as well. John Ortiz. And that movie's called The Mothership. And that'll soon come as well. And now I'm about to go work with J-Lo. And we're doing a really beautiful piece called The Mother. So I went from The Mothership to...
Time out. Time
I heard Halle Berry and J-Lo. You know
Halle Berry, first of all,
I heard Halle Berry and J-Lo.
you are
That's what I
very
heard.
talented. You know I'm a huge fan. But Halle Berry and J-Lo. Okay.
Yeah, that's
It's
big.
not, everyone wants to be in Omari's world, not Stephen A's anymore.
That's right.
Do you know how much I love J-Lo? Let me just tell you this, Omari, okay? People would be like, who's your celebrity crush? It's not a man. It's Jennifer Lopez.
Well, you and about 70 other million people, left and right. I mean, 100 million. People love her. But it'd be nice. It's my first time working with her. We've never formally met, Molly. So if there's anything you want me to pass along to her upon meeting, or do you want me to say something to her?
No.
I can pass it on her. No?
No.
She is an inspiration.
Hold on. What I will say is this. Stephen A's world is pretty nice. It ain't Omari Hardwick's world.
No.
Oh, no. It's not that kind of world. Let me transition back to the world of sports real quick, my man. Georgia beat Clemson 10-3. Your alma mater. I mean, that's where you went. I mean, you played a little bit there. I just want to know your thoughts because it's
Wait. Before he does that, can we show a tape? Because I got a tape, speaking of Georgia. Let's roll the footage, and then you can respond to that.
What do you have? Molly?
Oh, I got something for you. There he is. You thought his talent was just on the screen.
That's right. No. I knew he could play. Look at him. I mean, he looked like a football player.
There he is.
I got you.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. Omari Hardwick. That's football highlights of you, man.
I bet you I got hurt on that play. I feel like my shoulder got hurt.
Oh, well, I wasn't trying to bring up old stuff like that, but.
I want to know.
Molly, that's dope that you got that. That's a hell of a transition, eh?
That's right.
We got that. But now we can focus on the game this weekend, but we wanted to show you that for sure. Have a little fun.
We good. But before we even do that, I want to know your thoughts about Georgia. You know me, Alabama.
Yeah.
I respect Georgia, but they number two. We know who number one is. What are your thoughts?
Right. Yeah, right. You know what's crazy, too, because in terms of, obviously, the SEC, as you know, defensive prowess will always be the thing. Defense wins, but we can't do anything unless we get, a bit more offensive. And a bit is perhaps an understatement. You're dealing with SEC, so there's no way, if we don't figure out a way to put points on the board, that we could contend not only with the number one Crimson Tide, but also 1 to 5, anybody else in that top 5. So we got to figure that out. I talked to one of the coaches after the game, B. Gant, and he and I had a really good talk about it. I love what our defense did. I mean, obviously, that's pretty impressive. Clemson is not necessarily the Clemson of old, but we got to figure out the offensive thing, which I think we will. I haven't talked to Kirby and the guys yet, but I'm figuring out what game I'm going to go to. And maybe, finally, brother, you can step back and on that campus go to one of those games with me. That'd be really cool, bro.
I'll go with you.
You love Georgia.
I'll fly down. I'll go to the game with you, bro. Ain't no problem.
We're going to move on to this week football. I just need to say one thing. I am excited you're making more films, though, because we need more movies. So looking forward to that as well. But obviously, did you get to see the game last night?
No, I didn't get to watch it.
Okay, so we won't go there. So we'll preview. The Cowboys looked amazing. Stephen A. cannot believe how amazing.
But I saw ESPN cover. Obviously I saw the highlights of the game, so you can go there. You know what I was trying to really watch?
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what I wanted to figure out was, of course, everybody who is going at Dallas about, the quarterback situation, whether that situation needs to be sort of restructured or whatnot or what have you, whether the defense can hold. I was really trying to see if Ezekiel could get down. I tend to really think he's one of those throwback running backs, and I think he could be really special. And I just don't know if he's caught that thing yet that really, makes you go, okay, I'm fully invested. This guy's one for the ages. And so I was really, and watching the highlights, I was trying to figure out what is the thing that Ezekiel is missing. Is it the line? Is it vulnerability there? Who knows? But I think at the end of the day, you got a Tom Brady who knows how to read offenses. Like Gronk said, he's been playing for 80 years, Molly. So
yeah,
you got a Brady. He's been playing for like 80 years. He truly knows how to figure out every defense on the go. In live action while you're in the midst of the audible. He's already audibling another audible. So it's pretty amazing what he's able to do. But it was pretty good. I mean, I got to say, respectively, Dallas did what they needed to do against Tampa Bay or whatever they're trying to call Tampa Bay, a little bit down the street from where I'm living right now. So I thought it ended up the way that it should have ended up. And it was a good kickoff for this second year after COVID NFL season kickoff. So I thought it was a good start up for us.
Let me say this to you, my brother. Number one, I ain't worried about Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott, they weren't going to run the football last night against that front seven, particularly with Zach Barton, his offensive guard, being out. So I expect big things from Ezekiel Elliott, but I still got Tampa Bay repeating as Super Bowl champions. You got Tom Brady and 22 returning starters. That's what I got. What you got? Is there a problem with that?
No, I don't have a problem with it. I'll tell you why. Because we saw what your man did last year without pretty much a preseason. He didn't even really have a preseason. And to your point, 22 returning starters, damn, that's a whole team. You're talking 11 on one side of the ball, 11 on the other. So Tom Brady obviously being the epicenter of that 22. I can't argue that point at all, eh? I'm not going to argue with you on that.
You guys want to pick some games?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's pick some games real quick, Amari.
Amari, you go first. We'll go Bears, obviously, versus the Rams. Obviously, Rams have a new quarterback in Matthew Stafford. Who do you think is going to take that one?
Oh, I got to go with my UJ alma mater. Molly, I got to go there. We started out talking about between the hedges. I got to stay between the hedges in my thoughts, literally and figuratively. And Matthew Stafford of the West Coast will be a juggernaut to deal with. It would be like if Michael Jordan, was able to get in that wide-ass open West Coast offense that he never was able to benefit from. So for me, Stafford, and now all the tools that he's got there, that just bodes to be a pretty dangerous situation there. Shout outs to Sony Michel for finding his way over there as well, a fellow Georgia dog as well. But I think Stafford's going to really get down, and I got them taking that. The Bears' defense seems a little, they brought Quinn over, but Quinn's got to figure out how to get down with such a mountainous Mac in talent. And the two of them should be able to rock out together. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Rams are going to take it.
A couple of things. Number one, I love the fact that he brought up Sony Michel. Amari knows a whole lot of players in the National Football League and the NBA. Number two, only thing I would say to you is this. I agree with you about the Rams and Stafford. Until you brought up Jordan and Stafford in the same sentence.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
I didn't mean it as a as a galaxy versus a country. But if Stafford being analogous to somebody that can get a bit more wide open in the offense that he's in versus where he was in Detroit, then my point was the galaxy called Michael Jordan, and getting down in the West Coast offense back in the day, we would have seen an even more galactical in size Michael Jordan. So I think that what we'll see in Stafford is I think it'll be interesting to see what he can do, because he's one of the only quarterbacks that's done what he's done, but hadn't ended up anywhere even near the show. So that was the reason.
I believe in Mac Jones, all right? I believe in their running game, and I believe in Bill Belichick. Now, I love me some Brian Flores. I'm a fan of his and Chris Greer, and I love some of the weapons that they've got, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. But if you have questions at your quarterback position, to me, you're not beating Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I'll go, I think A makes a great point, Molly. Yeah. I'm going opposite in the sense that, I was talking to my doctor this morning. I was getting some work done, just chiropractic work, trying to help my shoulder out. And he made a great point. He said, Tua was number one at Alabama. At some point, Mac was below that. And so maybe intrinsically, there might be this moment, and maybe Molly can relate to it. There's that moment where you feel the competition. You feel the reality of, hey, man, I'm going against the guy that I was I was above him at some point, and now I'm going against him. And Tua perhaps has more to prove, let's say, this weekend versus that person who played underneath him. And in terms of beat Flo, you got to admit, Flo knows the defense. If he knows any defense, he knows the Patriots defense.
That's true.
So we'll see, but Belichick is the greatest ever do it. I mean, he's the greatest behind play calling, and Belichick is Belichick for a reason. So
for sure,
but
nothing better than going.
I'm gonna go with Miami on that. I'm gonna go with Miami. I think they get in Foxborough. I think they sneak one in.
Yep. All right. Nothing better than going to the chiropractor and getting adjusted, though. Nice crack. Saints Packers, Stephen A. It's that bad man versus Jameis Winston. What do you like about that one?
It's nice. I appreciate Jameis Winston. I truly do. But last time I checked, he's not Drew Brees, but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And he's still got Devontae Adams. He's still got Marquez Scantling. He's got Randall Cobb back. He's still got Aaron Jones in the backfield. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay to roll into New Orleans and beat the Saints.
I'll take 1.2 seconds, Molly, and acquiescing the thought of our dear beloved A and the fact that he's not Drew Brees. I'm rooting for Jameson because I'm always rooting, especially for a young African-American quarterback now in a position to have to fill the space of one of the greatest 10 quarterbacks of all time. But to A's point, you got one of the top 5 across the way, and that being Aaron Rodgers. And, I think if Kamara can get going, then maybe it'll be an interesting game, but I'm definitely going with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Yeah, no Michael Thomas. 30 seconds here, Amari. Seahawks, Colts, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz looking for redemption.
I'm kind of good. I got to be honest. I think Russ, sometimes they do better when Russ is running the ball, which is weird to say because obviously he's just an incredible quarterback. And perhaps, I don't know, A would probably get mad at me as my big bro and calling him underrated. But at times, he can be underrated. But I believe that Carson, who people, of course, you got fans that are, it's polarizing with Carson. You got fans that really rock with him. Then you got others that go, I don't know. But I really believe that that defense of the Colts is going to be hard to contend with. And I really think I'm a rock with the Colts on this one.
I'm a rock with the Seahawks for this big reason. Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and the crew, Carson and the boys, they still there. Here's the biggest thing. Last time I checked, Carson Wentz missed some time. Had his foot surgery and whatever. He's just getting back, okay? Plus, you've got, you got a guy that's got to distance himself from the team. Remember, he's not vaccinated as well. I think they got problems in Indy right now. They'll get over it. But immediately week 1, I'm going with Seattle.
I got to be quick here because we only have 30 seconds. But, Amari, that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see your new projects. And obviously, you played football. You really know it. So please come back and join us again. Hopefully in person. All the best to you and your family.
Same to you and yours. Tell Jalen I said what up. Hey, I love you, and I'll see you in L.A. On you, pal.
No doubt. All right.
Perfect.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Stephen A., any other games you're really... Oh, I know what you're excited about. Your Steelers, obviously.
How could you even ask me that?
Yeah, your Steelers.
How could you even ask me that?
Your Steelers.
No. This is Steelers, not UConn. This is Steelers.
Oh, my goodness. UConn trying to take down Purdue. We need a coach. All right, Formula One is next on ESPN. Michael Irvin is...